Hi, my name is Vince Lebon. I'm the founder, CEO and designer of Rollie. I'm here to really hope I can inspire you to do your best work. Yeah, I got it in grey.
Who's this?
Cool. Daniel Arsham.
Daniel Arsham.
Oh, I'm not familiar
He's from
with him.
Snarkitecture.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the guy's a beast.
Yeah, he really is, man. He really is.
He's an architect?
I mean,
There's 3 in Snarkitecture. Well, I think the other 2 are architects. He's just a designer, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it. He probably is an architect. I have no idea.
I don't think I could label his work just as architect because he does sculptures.
Yeah, he's a sculptural artist.
He's more like a
If I had to
sculpture
call him.
artist.
Yeah.
But he's also doing some NFTs
I'll have to check it
recently.
out.
as
Yeah,
well,
did you see
so-
that one that he did with the Porsche car? It was
The Porsche car.
It was incredible.
Yeah, man.
What was that like?
The piece changes every day for a whole year. So you get to see different elements of the actual loop.
But that's one NFT.
That's
That's
one
just
NFT, yeah.
NFT.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You have to check it. If you're into NFT, you have to check it out.
We'll check it out and we'll see. We'll try to get a graphic here so we can reference that.
Yeah.
Man, thanks so much. Sorry about the hustle. You know?
All good.
LinkedIn is probably going off the hook, and I was just that's how I reach out to people. But man, thanks so much. I was just saying before. I know one of the designers that used to work on your website, or for advice at least. And that's how I came across you. Obviously, I'm aware of Rollie being in Melbourne, and recently you opened your shop.
Yep.
Is that the first retail?
Yeah, first retail store.
Yeah. And okay, well, we're gonna get a lot of that.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, man. And can you tell us about? Hey.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It's
Oh,
all right.
good.
You want to find your way out, or?
No, I'm a speaker and I just need to change.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
That's all right. We can.
You're Google, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come and catch you. Yeah, man. So can you tell us about the idea behind? Because it's not the traditional retail. So can you give us an insight into that?
Yeah, so I mean, I launched a brand 10 years ago, and I got to a point when we turned 10 that I sort of stopped and reflected and said, what do I want the brand to look like for the next 10 years? And it was a great moment in time because I was like, I don't want to continue doing the same thing I'm doing. I really want to elevate and push the brand further. And having a physical space allowed us to sort of tell the brand in its best light possible. And so that's why I thought experimental retail, was going to be the way forward, right? I don't think people, we ship express delivery, and if you place an order before, I think it's 2 p.m, you get it the next day before 12.
Right.
People don't really need a quicker way to get our products, right? So what I want to do is make sure if you come into the space, you actually get to experience something special, and you can walk out of that space and not have bought a shoe, but still feel like you've experienced something.
Yeah.
So that was really important to me. So we basically dedicated about 50% of the store to experience, and 50% to commerce, and that they really will blend even further in the future. But right now, there's sort of a clear distinction between the two.
Yeah.
Just so we can take people on the journey.
That's awesome, man.
It's incredible. Where do you think you find the inspiration for the brand?
I hate that question only because my answer's cheesy, but it's life. Like I take inspiration from everything, and I think that's the beauty in how I've been able to have the brand for this long and still feel inspired by it. Like, whether it's I'm going for a meal and I'll be inspired by a particular cuisine and I'll be like, wow, that inspires me to create something new. Or
that could be a shoe,
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily need to be visually, but it can be through emotion. Most of my design comes from emotion. So I think if people are feeling stressed and there's a lot of, drama in the world, well, people might want to feel more uplifted. And so you create things that are a little bit lighter. Or if things are about to head in that way, you might feel like in a combat mindset. So you're like, cool, let's create combat boots.
Right, yeah.
And so, really just playing into emotion, be inspired by everything. I do look at tech because I love the tech space too. So always looking at tech. Looking at the automotive industry, looking at fashion in general, food, and culture.
Culture in general. It's interesting that you open a retail shop now when a lot of the sentiment, or at least perceive, I'm not in the e-commerce space, I'm not an expert like you, but I am a consumer. And what I see from this side is that everyone's just not opening stores and like physical space, right? Big player in the automotive industry, Tesla, decided just to get rid of all the dealerships. Just have the experience online, right? So do you feel like you were going against the grain by doing so? And
I think, when everyone zigs, you zag, right? And I think, Marty Newler does a great job explaining that in his book. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. Brand Gap and Zag. And I love his work. But I think, I think Tesla is able to do what they do because their product's excellent. Right? But I think if they had an incredible shopping experience on top of that, they'd have an even better business.
Okay.
So I think
you don't rate the experience that you have at the moment?
No, I think I ordered my Tesla S in January. I haven't got a single update yet.
Shit.
It's terrible. I'm looking for a better alternative.
Polestar,
get a different car. I've looked at the Polestar, but I don't want the one that they've got out. I want the.
Do you want the SUV or do you want the
sports
blue
one.
with the drone in the back?
Yeah, that'd be sick. I'll take that.
Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that one.
I would take that today, apart from the fact I have to pay for it. I think like what you're talking about with Tesla, and this is where a lot of people take that approach to go, but they're doing it well without one. And you're right, but I think they can actually do it way better if they had a similar disruptive approach to retail. So it's not one or the other. They can be quite complementary. And what I'm trying to do is blend the online and offline experience so that it is one. I'm not actually saying that retail is the future and we're going to close our online store. Or I'm not saying online's the future and we don't need a physical retail space. I'm actually saying brands need to coexist wherever the customers are, and you need to create amazing experiences, whether it's online and offline, and they need to be blended.
It's interesting, you talk about like the experience, and I'm sure like there's so much detail that goes into making sure that experience is actually optimal. Like, can you tell us about that journey of like setting up the store and like the things you have in mind as you're going through? Like, what's that creative process like?
The physical space?
Yeah.
It was a really great experience actually, apart from paying for it. But the
it's prime real estate in Fitzroy, is it? That's Collingwood.
It's in Fitzroy.
Gertrude
Street.
It's still that Fitzroy side, right? Gertrude Street?
Yeah, exactly. Gertrude Street, opposite the Builders Arms. It just got named the second best street in the world.
So Fitzroy was named the best.
They had a lot of
ever in
backlash from
Australia.
people like, why is that?
Well, I mean, good.
But man, you made it there, and you're on the second best street in the world, and you just fucking claim it,
Yeah, exactly. I always say like we got one of the coolest stores on the second best street in the world. I'm pretty happy with that. I think for us as a brand and brand values, we were given a space to look at that was in Chapel Street, and it was incredible, and we could have just moved in there, would have minimal fit out work, and it just didn't feel right. Like for us, Gertrude Street is, and Fitzroy in particular, is exactly where we needed to be, and we didn't compromise on that. And I think the consistency around not compromising is the reason why the space looks like it does. So if you look at our 3D renders of the space, it looks almost identical.
Which is not always the case,
which is very rare. It's something that many people had sort of brought to my attention when they saw the renders and then they saw the physical. They were just like, that's incredible. Because it looks, when you go there, I've had a lot of people say they feel like they're in the future. Because it's very futuristic.
Cool.
It's got the juxtaposition between brutalness and softness and warmth from the actual staff. It almost takes you out of your regular day-to-day experience, which I think
it's like
really
a metaverse, but in the real world.
Well, it's like you're not quite sure what it is. You feel like you're in the future. You feel like you're part of this digital space, but actually, you're in the real world because you haven't got anything on your face. You're not
bugging you and
it's interesting experience.
Man, it's just when I heard about this store, I haven't been there. Just putting it out there just yet. But it's one of the things I want to do. I'm not north side. I'm southeast.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a trek for me. I'm still waiting for my Tesla as well, so I can't. No, I'm not. But definitely have to check that one out, especially with the NFTs that you have there. Why NFTs? Why not local? Traditional. Or not local, but just traditional artwork.
Well, I mean, I actually don't even call it an NFT gallery, right? Like I see it as a digital art gallery. And yes, we do highlight digital NFT artists. I think the reason why it's digital art is because, like I said, we're trying to blend the online, offline worlds together.
Yep.
Right. We're featuring 150 pieces of art from 30 artists from around the world.
Oh, that's incredible.
And the goal is to dive way deeper. And I love NFTs, but not as the way they look today. I don't believe in the monkeys and the all the apes and all that.
The punks and
exactly. And not to diss anything in the work that they've done. They're going to pave the way for what NFTs will be in the future. But I think when you think about the functionality that it provides, NFTs are a contract of sale, a way to authenticate a purchase.
That's it.
To create incredible token-gated experiences. It's going to unlock commerce in a way that we've never seen it before, and I think that's fascinating. And what I'm trying to do with our space is introduce that concept of digital and physical living together without scaring anyone.
Yeah, it's that we keep talking about that friction,
Yeah,
very much. Yeah, it's a space that it almost feels like foreigner to an extent, right? Because even though it's created by a lot of digital people, it's still not the most optimal experience in itself, right? So it's kind of almost daunting to get in, quote unquote get in. So it's interesting that you're actually utilizing the space also to normalize that and get people actually an opportunity to actually see all the artists who are venturing in the space.
And I think the reason why I don't like to call it an NFT gallery is to drop their guard. So when people say it's an NFT gallery, which it is, there is an element to that, and but I think people come in with a preconceived idea of what it should look like then, or it's a fad, or it's a scam. Whereas I want them to drop their guard, look at the art and go, wow, that artwork's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right? All of a sudden now you're looking at the substance itself, and then how we interact with them will become secondary. Right.
Do you see Rollie morphing into that? That you got the digital, what's it called? The term digital at the moment. Is that what your vision is, or is that a possibility for the brand?
Yeah, we're already working on it.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So
anything you can share?
Yeah, I mean, we're working. I won't say who it is, but we're working with a pretty well-known artist right now on creating a NFT digital asset. Sneaker, which will then live in Decentraland.
Sick, man.
And then there'll be a real world claim and lots of cool shit, right?
Yeah, we gotta get on that.
Yeah, I want to be on the cutting edge, but doing it in a way where we respect who the customer is and not being naive to thinking that everyone will understand this concept. Right? I think that's where the concept to someone who hasn't played around with NFTs to then buy a digital asset through a hardware, you got to explain to them you've got to fund it, you've got to get a hardware wallet. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. You've got to get Discord, and then you got to click on.
You got to sign your
links.
life away, for a spot in the whitelist.
Exactly. So there's many ways around this, and I'm working with some companies now that I think are doing some really cool, innovative things.
Amazing.
They see the value in working with us, which is great, and so together I think we'll be able to create something really compelling.
That's incredible. I think longevity is another key factor as well for one of those, for projects in general, NFT. People want to see those roadmaps actually come true.
Fruition,
Because you see a lot of those just falling apart or disappearing. False promises.
Well, the beauty with us, I mean, no one's ever going to think about getting rugged. Right, the brand's been around for 10 years. We've got a physical space. I'm doxed already. Right,
you're checking all the boxes, man.
So it's just a matter of the right timing. I think, 10, 15 years ago, if you had a chat with anyone about cloud services versus on-site servers, everyone was like, oh, on-site servers are way better. They're more secure and, but eventually people understood its value. And now it'd be very rare to find a single business and probably in the world that's not using a cloud-based service.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
I think, am I correct to say that Shopify has implemented or started implementing that technology? When you connect your wallet and then you have that gated content as in a retail space?
Yeah, they're working on it, but apparently it's in beta. It's not available to.
Okay.
Because I think I saw that with Doodles.
Yeah, that's right. There's a few companies. We're actually speaking to them now about being a test case for it. but yeah, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Did you saw that?
Yeah,
The doodle.
They were actually
Burnt toast.
not with the project, but I saw Shopify promote this.
Yeah,
this
they've
new
got a
tech.
website.
And it was interesting.
Landing
You know,
page.
would you consider that like people using crypto to buy the shoes at some point, like in the
yeah,
e-commerce
we're working on
space?
it already. Once
Cool.
again, so that'll probably be implemented the next couple months.
Nice.
But I mean,
Dogecoin.
I don't anticipate it to be a bit more than 1% of our entire revenue.
Yeah.
You know, in 2
Yeah.
years or in a year even.
Yeah.
But you almost look at it as an R&D, right? It's
Yeah.
something that you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
expecting, just
Yeah.
like investing money in crypto.
It
You
is
know,
a
you
test,
may
yeah.
lose it, but you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
be okay with it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, it's our commitment to the future. And,
Yeah.
You know, I think if it converts to fiat, you know, instantaneously, we're not going to lose money from it. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of effort and reward.
Yeah, man. The one, I keep getting the background noise. The one other thing is just about your journey. So you still call yourself a designer, correct?
I'm
Did I
actually
see
not
that
sure.
somewhere?
Yeah.
Did I see it somewhere on your title? That,
Yeah. My official title is founder, CEO, and designer.
Yeah,
Head
which
designer. Yeah.
I personally love that. You know,
Yeah.
you're not dropping the designer bit, which
Yeah,
is, from what I've learned from reading from you, is what got you here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much are you actually designing now, as opposed to,
Yeah.
you know, leading the business?
Yeah. So, I mean, I always used to sort of, it's so small, the designing component, in terms of physical designing shoes, right? It traditionally has been anywhere between 8 days to 4 weeks a year,
Okay.
right? No, but that's intense design, right? So I can get a lot done in that time.
Workshopping, yeah.
Yeah. However, a designer doesn't just mean around aesthetics. Like, I design solutions every day.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about being a designer, I'm talking about holistic design, using design thinking and design solutions.
Yeah, I say that design needs to solve a problem. Otherwise, it's just an art, piece of art.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but don't
Yeah.
call it design, right?
Absolutely.
So is there anything else, man, you want to share with us or with whomever is watching before we wrap it up? Any future plans, anything you're excited about? The project that obviously you're wearing now, the socks that we talked about, anything, this is your time to just put it out there.
Look, I think we've got to just challenge people to do their best work. I mean, you know, it's, I think it's very easy just to go with the flow and design for a paycheck, or design at a standard that other people think is good enough. But it's like, are you doing work that you're proud of? Right? Are you waking up and pushing the boundaries? Like, what I'm talking about today is, it's not about the work that you're capable of doing. It's about the work that you put out. Right? And I think there's a lot of designers out there that think they're as good as Jerry Lorenzo and Daniel Arshan. But have you put out the work consistently like them? Right? And so, and I say that even being critical of myself, right? And so, and I'm not saying you have to be at that level to have success. I'm just saying if you are putting yourself, if you are looking to them,
Give it your best.
Give it your best, and you'll do it. But work out if that's what you really want.
Amazing, man. Thanks so much.
Man, legend.
Very inspiring. Thanks so much,
Cool.
man. Thank you
Cheers.
for your time. Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Legend. Man, thank you. That was great.